In this video, I want to show you how to adjust the Bosch miter saw. I have the Bosch gliding miter saw, and it's a great saw. I love pretty much everything about it, but when a saw gets off and it doesn't cut square, or your bevels start getting off and you're trying to make a miter and it doesn't line up, that gets pretty frustrating. So this one's off just a little bit, and I'm going to show you how to adjust it so that it's on. And I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube that take way too long trying to finesse the saw and move it around and with a square. But I'm going to show you a really quick way to do it that works every time. Okay, so the first thing you want to do when you start to adjust your saw is you're going to have to loosen some set screws. So most saws are the same, miter saws. I know the DeWalt and other sliding miter saws, and even some compound saws, they have some set screws here where your detents are. And on the Bosch, there's some instructions here on the side if you have the same saw, and I know other saws have got instructions. If they don't, or if they're worn out, there's set screws here on the detents, and what you want to do first is loosen those so that you can adjust the table free from the blade. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Alright, so those are loosened up and it is ready to move individually apart from the blade so that we can get the fence and the table lined up 90 degrees to the blade. So what I see a lot of guys do when they are adjusting their saw is they'll get a square like this, this is a little framing square, and they get a square like this and they line it up to their fence, and then they run their blade down right next to it and they touch the square up to the side. Let me switch you over here so you're not blocked. There we go. Okay. Anyway, they run their square tight to the fence, and then snug to the blade, and then they move their blade up and down the square, and they try to sight down the square to line up their saw, and that takes forever. It is a waste of time, and there's a lot of videos that show you that that's the way to do it, but that's not the way to do it. So, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to get a flat square board. So this is a piece of MDF, and let me correct myself, it doesn't necessarily have to be square, but we have to have a flat edge on the back to reference to. And that's very important. So what we're going to do with that flat edge is I'm going to set it up tight to the fence, and then I'm going to take my square, also tight to the fence, and I'm going to draw a reference line down this board. That is going to be my square line. And then it's going to be much easier to adjust the saw than holding a square up to the side of the blade. Okay, here I've got you down at the level of the blade, or the level of the piece that we're going to cut square to. We're going to bring our saw blade right down to it and line up at the base with that line. And I'm going to line my blade up. You don't have to do it. You can even do it on the other side of the blade if you want. But I'm going to line my blade up to the left of or to the right of the line here. And then I'm just going to gently roll it out and bring it out. And you can see how this blade is out of square as I bring it out to the end of my cut. So now what I'll do is I know some people, you might want to hit your table to the right, thinking it would bring the line to the blade, but it's actually the opposite. You want to bring your table to the left because what you're moving is the fence. So I'm going to give this a couple taps, and then we're just going to reevaluate. And here now I am right on the edge of the line, and back here I'm also right on the edge of the line. Now I'm going to roll it down and double check, and that looks to be the same all the way down. Another thing I didn't mention before is you want to make sure that your saw is locked into the 0 detent before you start. You don't want it to be unlocked, because then you won't be doing anything. as far as moving it. So we're pretty square here. I'm going to take that Allen wrench and I'm going to just quickly snug these back down. Okay, now I'm going to take a board here that has a flat edge that I can reference to and check my work. So now I'm just going to make a quick cut. I know the guard is off the saw. Just be careful, obviously. It makes it easier to adjust it. Now we're going to check the squareness of this board. And I have it tight to the one edge. And if you can see there's a little bit of light showing through on the end. We are just off still, just a little bit. So we're going to do that one more time. All right, so there. Yeah, it looks like it grows just a little bit more as we come out, which is what it showed. So we're going to give it another little tap. Now we're taking off half the line up here, and we're taking off the 3/4 to the full line on the back. One more little tap. Now we're taking off half the line to 3/4 of the line. We're getting this perfect. One more little tap. Okay, now we're about 3/4 to I'd say we're just about perfect there. Okay, we'll take that piece off and we will tighten our set screws back down and check it one more time. And just after 2 times here, I think we'll pretty much have it dialed in. Like I said, much quicker than trying to fuss with a square against the fence and against the blade with so many different variables that can throw it off. That leaves you, I mean, I've done it that way, and I have tightened and loosened and adjusted the set screws way too many times doing it that way, trying to get it perfect. So from what I've found, this is the quickest way. It's the quickest way, easiest way. There might be an easier way. If you know, I'd love to know what that is. But, oh, let me get my other piece. All right. Here's my board. We'll cut it and check for square. Okay, there we go, tight to the edge, and we are perfect. That is nice and tight all the way down. Okay, after you adjust your saw and you get it perfect, what you want to do is move your indicator here back to 0 so that it's ready to go for when you need to find an angle. So I'm going to set it up right in the middle of the line. Keep my thumb there keep it from moving, and tighten it down. Move just a little. Right there, perfect. That's how you adjust the miter saw quicker than just using a square up to the side of the blade. That's how you get it perfect. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.